nervous. I've never filmed with people before. Hi! I'm so nervous.
Hi guys.
Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back. This is a new type of video for me. Or not really, I guess, if you've seen some of my videos from a few weeks ago. This is my sister who lives in Glasgow Uni specifically. And this video is going to be about
my student accommodation
tour, experience, all the things.
All the tea.
Everything you could potentially want to know about Glasgow Uni student accommodation. I've got a list of questions here. Yeah, let's just get into it. So before we start, Glasgow Uni.
Yes.
University of Glasgow, student accommodation, right? University owned student accommodation. So as a first year or an incoming first year, you are able to apply for this or certain other student accommodations through the uni website, right?
Yes.
So the process is pretty simple.
It's pretty standard. You choose your top 5 choices out of 10 maybe. And then the university replies in like August-ish time. And so Murano, where I live, this is my student accommodation, was my 5th choice. So I didn't really want to stay here. I had much better options. However, I think I was a little late to the choosing process of the accommodation compared to others.
Yeah, before I get into this also, this will be posted after she's already moved out, just for
all you stalkers.
Health, safety measures have been taken. I did the same thing for my own student accommodation dorm tour almost 4 years ago now. That was uploaded after I moved out. I always take that sort of stuff very, very seriously. So we are still filming this as of today in April, but this will be posted over the summer probably, knowing my backlog of videos. All right, let's get into the questions quickly. So we've already touched on this, but where is the dorm located?
Okay, so basically when you have the university campus, it's 20 minutes away by foot, and it's located in kind of a, there's nothing nearby. Nothing really to see here next to Murano, to be fair. I mean, the walk is fine, but yeah, it's 20-ish minutes, or you can take the bus as well.
And something I didn't know about Glasgow before you moved here is the Uni of Glasgow campus is quite far from central Glasgow. Not super far, but compared to Edinburgh, it is.
Compared to Edinburgh, there's definitely a difference because the campus is I don't know, I'd say a 15-minute bus drive away from central Glasgow.
Yeah.
So
it's a campus uni kind of outside of the centre. Quite different from Edinburgh. So definitely. If that makes a difference to anyone, that's something worth noting probably. How much is the rent?
So the rent is 160, I believe, a week, which is 640. I had to calculate beforehand. I'm not that fast. It's 640 a month.
And would you say that's kind of an average amount of what you're expected to pay, or is it the cheaper end, the more expensive end as student accommodations go?
So out of the student accommodations, I think this was one of the cheapest options actually. Yeah, I think it was one of the cheapest ones. That's why there's the most students here. There's over 1,200 students in this accommodation.
That's crazy. That's so much more than my little student accommodation.
That's why it's called a student village, because it's literally a village.
Yeah, so it's a cluster of a bunch of different buildings.
A complex and many different buildings.
Again, worth noting, obviously prices will change. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember my rent price from first year, but I'm pretty sure you're definitely paying more than I did 4 years ago. But
probably,
all student accommodation prices have inflated quite significantly and are likely to inflate within the next year as well. But this is as of this year. So it's uni managed accommodation, right? Not private.
Not private, uni managed.
What kind of room is it? Studio, ensuite, shared bathroom, kitchen?
So unfortunately, it's not ensuite. I have to share a bathroom with 3 other girls. And I'm actually quite lucky because I didn't get to choose how many people I wanted in the flat. And here in Murano, you have the choice of either a big flat or a small flat. So it's either a 10-person flat or 5 to 4 people, and 4 is rare, so I don't have a lot of people in my flat. And then we share 1 toilet and 2 shower rooms, and then in the room itself we have a little sink with a mirror,
which is actually different from what I had. I specifically didn't want a sink, but do you like having a sink?
I like it. I think it's better than if I were to go to the toilet each time and I think it's pretty good.
And shared kitchen.
I mean, we have a shared kitchen, the four of us. I think in general it's like pretty clean compared to the bigger flats. But also what's worth noting, the bigger flats, they have a cleaner coming in every week.
Oh.
And we don't. So we have to clean ourselves. And yeah.
Which is really interesting because I also had a cleaner and I had a 4-person flat in my first year accommodation.
I
so
wish.
that is something worth noting. I think if you do have choice, and I don't think many people do have choice because it is kind of a random process, having a cleaner in first year doesn't solve all flat issues, but is really useful.
Very useful, definitely.
If you can have that.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's good that they have it for the bigger flats, but still, like, we could use it for the 5 to 4 person flats as well.
I think when you're getting randomly allocated with people you don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's difficult. And so you've got an all-girls flat. Is that something you chose or was it random?
Yes. I chose an all-girls flat just because I thought girls were going to be more clean. Little did I know they're not. No shade to anyone.
I also had an all-girls flat and I also specifically requested an all-girls flat. I will say, like, obviously there is a generalization of like girls being cleaner in flats, which sometimes is true, sometimes isn't. I think on the general, probably yes.
Mm-hmm.
From when I've been to like all boys flats versus all girls flats, but I've also known super messy girls and I've also known super clean guys. So
yeah, from what I've seen now, I think I'd be fine with a like mixed flat.
Yeah, in case that's something you're interested in, that is something you can request, and that both of us did.
Yeah.
What's included in the rent?
Wi-Fi.
Bills.
What else is included?
So do you have laundry included?
Laundry, well, there's a laundry room, but you have to pay additional for the laundry.
Right. How much is that roughly?
I think it's like $2.50 per washing, and then for drying it's like £1.
I have heard of student accommodations which have like £5 wash fees or something insane.
But the only thing with the laundry rooms is that there's, I believe from what I know, there's only 2 laundry rooms for the whole complex. My laundry room is next to my my building, which is nice.
That's good.
But it's quite small.
So it's not in your actual building.
No.
You have to leave the building.
I have to leave the building, walk like a minute, and then go to the laundry room, which isn't bad. It's just pretty small, so you have to go at like very random times in order for there to be free space there.
How long is the contract?
I believe it's from the beginning of term, which starts in the middle of September, till the middle of June.
Any pros or cons worth mentioning up front?
I'll start with public transport. So there is buses nearby, which is nice. There's buses to center and there's buses to uni that are close. If you live in Glasgow, then you know that the buses are pretty unreliable. Same, I think, in Edinburgh. So I usually have to walk, unless it's to center, then I always get a bus. But other than that, like, the public transport is fine.
Worth noting, public transport is free for most students.
Right. Yes. So when you turn 18 till 22, yeah, you can have a Young Scot card. So you can have free public transport, except for the subway, because there's a subway in Glasgow, so you still have to pay for it. You just don't pay for buses. Okay, so the closest shop I have, like convenience store, is 7 minutes by foot from Murano, which I genuinely do not like going to it just because Murano is up on a hill. And then you have to climb a lot, and I really, really don't like climbing.
So that's a massive con.
Personally, I do like Murano, but for me, that's like a huge con for when I have to like walk back from uni, for example. I have my school bag. Yeah. I have groceries, and then I have to take all of that uphill and then take the stairs, which also need renovating, by the way, but that's a separate issue. But yeah. So that's the shop. Oh, there's also 2 large shops, so like a big Lidl and a big Tesco Extra, which you can take a bus to or like walk 15 minutes to.
One thing I just thought about, there's parking spaces around. Like if you have a car, can you have your car here? Do you have to pay extra for that?
I actually don't know if you have to pay extra, but there are parking spaces. But I don't have a car, so I'm not sure if you pay extra.
So worth looking into, I guess, if you have a car. Is heating included? We
yes,
should have
added.
Yes,
heating is included as well.
Is it warm in the winter? I know your windows kind of
yes,
faulty.
So I will be a little bit biased because my window has been broken the whole time I've been here.
Did you request to get it fixed?
I did request to get it fixed, but there was like no one did anything, which I probably should have like reminded them, or like, hey, can you please fix my window, it was really cold. But I've like kind of managed to live with it. Right now it's warm, so it's not much of an issue, but during the winter it was pretty bad. But that's like only a me issue, so I don't think it's this cold in other rooms, and the heater works fine.
Noise levels?
So when I was doing research on the student accommodation and Murano, I heard that Murano is the party accommodation. I was like 100% sure that there's going to be parties every single day, which is completely not true, first of all. Second of all,
that is also what I heard, not knowing the accommodation like at all.
And my parents were so scared. They're like, no, parties every day. But yeah, I think that was because during COVID, like, people couldn't go out of their accommodations, so they were just partying every day inside.
Yeah.
And they're not, well, honestly, they are a little strict with parties. But again, this is my specific case because I live right next to, what's it called, like central services, yeah. So they can easily hear noise coming from our places. But in general, I think if you have a party here, for example, in the kitchen or something, because that's the only place you can have it, like in the kitchen, or in the hallway. That's what we did once. In general, if you live further away from central services, no problem at all. But if you live close by, then they will come and they will shut it down.
Do you guys have RAs, resident assistants, who like live in the student accommodations with you?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of that.
I'm pretty sure it's all Edinburgh accommodations have RAs, resident assistants. So they're like people from years above. So it could be literally like a second year student, or it could be like,
yeah.
I don't know if master's students do it, to be honest. But like, I know older students do it.
And they live in the building.
They live in the building or one of the buildings of a complex. For my accommodation, we had like 4 blocks. So they lived in a different block from mine. Okay. But they were always there to like shut down parties. Like if there was a noise complaint, they would be like knocking on your door.
Okay. Well, for that we have staff inside the central service, but we don't have anyone like living here, I think.
Yeah, they live in the accommodation and they get it discounted. So it's like worth it for them because they like pay half rent essentially.
Interesting.
So you don't have that.
I don't think so.
And they would live, again, depending on the accommodation. I'm pretty sure in mine, like all of them lived in one joint flat. But for others, it would be like, you know, you have a flat of 5 and it's like 1 RA living in the flat. So I don't know, but it would depend on the flat and the accommodation. Okay. Is it secure? Do you feel safe?
Yeah, I think I feel safe. Although there was like a situation during the school year. Some guy was trying to get in through like the vents or something. Might have been
Wait, into someone's flat?
Yeah, might have been a rumor. However, I think I feel pretty safe other than that situation.
Do you think this accommodation is worth the price compared to other Glasgow options?
For this price, I think there's better options that are definitely closer to uni, because like the dream is to be close to campus where like everything is, and like everyone wants to live there, like in Central West End, next to the park, next to uni. So for this price, I think it could be closer. But other than that, I'm pretty fine with it. Like, I'm pretty satisfied.
So if I'm understanding correctly, main pros are like the student community, loads of students around.
Yes.
Main con is it's far from, or far-ish, farther than you would like to be from central uni things.
Yes. But I would highlight the pro of the like student community here, because again, this might be like a specific example, but my building is very like united. We do stuff together all the time. Like we have a group chat, we go out together, we like have parties here. So it's genuinely like a very good community, which I really, really like that I have like in first year.
Which I would argue is like the main point of student accommodation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you have your shitty student accommodation flat, everyone goes through that, but like you won't ever live in such close proximity to so many students, potentially ever again.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Would you recommend this dorm?
I think I would, if you don't mind walking uphill. I think I would. Like, I don't have many complaints, to be fair. It also highly depends who you end up with and whatever. But in terms of, like, the place itself, I would recommend.
Okay, cool. I think that's all my questions. I don't know what to say. Do you like these questions?
Yeah. I think they'd be useful, like, for me.
I know.
Because I was doing, like, a bunch of research beforehand when I was choosing the accommodation. So, like, how the fuck would I know, like, what accommodation is good? And this would be, like, very helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do hope that this video helped you choose your student accommodation, because I remember when I was choosing mine, it was very difficult because there was no videos like this online. So, like, I really hope this helped you out.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.